Liftoff and the clock has started.
Goal.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi Showbie with me, Ronald Biggs. Richard Vobes. Very close. How are you? Have you been on the Great Train Robbery this week? Have you been out and about looking at heritage, landscape and nature? Have you been enjoying yourself? We've come to the end of another exciting week in which the police are looking for us because we've got bags of money in the bag. The police aren't looking for us at all. They're just looking to congratulate us for having made some lovely videos in Wiltshire because they love the fact that I haven't been in Sussex clogging up the pavements as I've been wandering around with a camera. Don't know what I'm talking about. It's Friday. What do you expect? Yes, it is the Vobe Show. I'm Richard Vobes, flying solo, ladies and gentlemen. Flying, hopefully not flying low. Zip! Oh, yes, marvellous stuff. Because I'm on my own this evening, I will, of course, need your wonderful help by giving me a call on the special number that we have had installed here in the studio. A new number this time. It's 0793 4746 790. It is actually very similar to the number we had before. So similar that you can't see how the difference actually is. Although there is technically a small difference. The difference is that the number has been replaced and then put back. So I guess the number... Anyway, it's 07934746790, and that is the number, and it is on the screen this time. We forgot to put the number on the screen yesterday. Oh, my goodness, how remiss. And the people upstairs, oh, they were livid with me.
That's right, sir. I was absolutely livid, sir. You
forgot the number and everything, sir.
I thought you, Eric, were in charge of graphics. Right, see, he's gone very quiet now, hasn't he? He's gone very silent, I've noticed, you've noticed, and there's nobody else here to notice. But if they were here, they'd be putting up a notice, hammering it in with a big nail, and that would be it. The world and his brother would be coming in going, oh, look at the notice there. It's in words and stuff. I suppose we'll have to read it. Have you got my glasses, Margaret? Yes, dear, here they are. Thank you. Wait a minute, these are my sunglasses. They're not my reading glasses. Have you got my reading glasses, Margaret? Yes, dear, here you are. Thank you. Oh, no. These are not my reading glasses. These are my acting glasses. There's no lens in them at all. I want my reading glasses, Margaret.
Oh, so sorry. Hang on a moment. Here, try these.
Thank you very much. Oh, these are my David Bowie look-alike glasses. I can't read through those. Haven't you got anything?
I got you Gary Glitter look-alike glasses.
No, I don't want those.
What about the Timmy Mallet ones?
No, don't. I haven't got any Timmy Mallet ones. That's ridiculous.
Dame Edna Everidge ones?
Nope. I don't want any of those either. Haven't you got anything?
2 Ronnies ones?
Oh, 2 pairs for the 2 Ronnies, because they're actually subtly different. No, I don't. I want the glasses that I read with.
Here, try these.
Oh, yes, these are the ones. I can read with these. It says, put on your face and look at the words. Oh, yes, of course. There we go. Oh, yes, there's the notice on the side, of which I've now forgotten the reason that we put the notice on the side in the first place. Have no concept whatsoever. Memory? Who needs one? Let's get on so much better without it. That's why I embrace my dementia. Who are you, anyway? What are you doing here? Get out of it, you. I don't know who you are, Margaret. I don't even know your name.
I'm Margaret, your wife.
Who?
Margaret, your wife.
Margaret? I haven't got any Margaret in my life, Margaret. I've never seen you before. When's breakfast? Anyway, enough of this gay banter. I apologise for that. I have no idea quite where that came from, but it came from somewhere. Yes, probably in a little letter that was pushed through my door. It was from Anne Eastwood, actually, a little letter that was pushed through my door. I got back from filming. I was out filming, by the way, today. And there was this little letter with a small, well, a nice, a generous amount, a big bag of doubloons. Yes, Spanish doubloons from the bottom of the sea, down at the very bottom. And I guess that she must have been doing a bit of deep sea diving, because a lot of people do these days. It's the in thing, don't you know? There's you, don't want to breathe any of the air that we have. So dive into the sea, where you don't have to breathe any of the air at all. Like Marine Boy. Remember Marine Boy and the Oxygum? He used to dive, he could stay down there for ages. Mind you, he was only a 2D cartoon, so he had the advantage on us that he didn't actually need to breathe. The only thing he relied on was the person who used to draw him and animate him at something like 24 frames a second, no doubt. And may have been more. Who knows? Anyway, so there we go. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining me on Friday. Here we go. I suppose we ought to have a look and see who's in the Vobesphere, sitting there, swinging their legs on the chairs, eating nuts, staring at the screen, going, when is the entertainment starting? I thought this was supposed to be some form of entertainment show. So far, there's that raving loony there with what looks like 400 different types of glasses. I had an email, or was it a comment? I think it was a comment where somebody said, "Oh, Richard, please don't put on that silly voice every time you read out comments." It did make me laugh because I put on that voice for every comment whatsoever that comes. It's the only other voice I've got. No, stop knocking them down. You got this voice as well? Yes, I have got that voice, but I only use that for special occasions. Funerals, mainly. Oh, nice. Yes, if you've ever been to a funeral and you're standing there looking down at the departed and someone's about to give the soliloquy, that is, it's not the soliloquy, whatever the term is, you know, for when someone snuffed it and then everybody gathers and everybody's going, say something nice, somebody say something nice. I mean, the poor bloke's in there, he's dead, isn't he? He's getting cold. Somebody say something nice. And then, of course, that's what the voice that you use. I come out there and I go, oh, well, no, he was very nice. He really was. Nice, man. Everybody knew who he was. And he was so popular. You, of course, they laughed, didn't they? No. Yeah. Anyway, unfortunately, he had a bit of an accident in the lift door, came on his head, and he snuffed it. And that's about it, really. And it so happens, as these things do, he fell into the grave, and it saved us all the trouble. It's handy that there's somebody over there who's good with a chisel, because he's put the stonemason's terms on it. Only, instead of the name on the headstone, he's just put his invoice. This stone has cost you £2,500. 15 stone, £10. 15 stone, £10? That's the weight of it. That's quite a heavy for a headstone, or it might not be. Might be quite light. I don't know. I have no idea how much a headstone weighs. How much does a headstone weigh? Have you ever weighed one? Have you been out, making bread, and there you are with your little portable weighing machine and gone, oh, just as a matter of interest, I think purely just to satisfy a curiosity that I have, I wonder if I just move the flour and the butter and the lard and the big camel there with the milk in its back. I wonder if we could just put on one of those headstones. I've always wondered, how much does a headstone weigh? And is it really as heavy as a head? It's good that they don't have hand stones as well, or leg stones and all of that. Otherwise, you'll have the whole corpse made up in... Well, I suppose that's an effigy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's an effigy.
Yes, thanks. Anyway, 3rd of September 2021, end of the week. Looking forward to the weekend. Are you? Yes, my weekend is always looking forward to it. Sean James Cameron, he says the most common headstone is 24 inches by 12 inches and 3 foot. And weighs about 86 pounds. Some of the larger styles can weigh in excess of 1,000 pounds. And that's just the weight. Well, there you are. You find out things you really didn't want to know on this show, but you can take that with you now. It's a parcel of information wrapped up in brown paper with no string or ribbons or even an element of a flower on it. And you can take that to the postmaster and send it to New Zealand if you wish. I don't mind what you do with it, to be honest with you. It's entirely yours. It's a nice little piece of info. Totem polem info. And Michael White apparently has got gallstones, so he's going to put his gallstones at the head, which is nice. Tall Podge Rod says a head is between 4 and 5.5 kilogram. I learnt that when I had to make a head cast for Anne Boleyn. She was ambling along, and I said to her, "Oi, you, ambling along, come here. I want to weigh your head. I want to weigh your head." She said, "Can't you wait till I'm dead? Can't you wait till I'm dead? No, I want to weigh your head. I want to weigh your head like I did with Fred when he was in bed." And that's what I said. Holy moly. Anyway, Anne Boleyn didn't quite like that very much, because she was going to have her head chopped off anyway. She said, "When I'm dead, you can have it after I've married old Henry. Only he's a bit worried that he may be marrying into the wrong family. Something to do with the Catholic Church, and, well, he's got his lineup of wives. He's already had the paintings done. There's a painting of him with Catherine of Aragon, and then there's a painting there of Militant Martin, although I don't think he's actually going to get round to marrying her. And then there's Meghan Markle. He wants to marry her, but I don't think he'll live long enough because he's a bit overgirthed. You know what I mean? The buttons are falling off. That's because somebody got him angry. He said, 'Don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry.' And he turned green, and he had shorter hair than before, and it was off with his head. Well, it was off with his buttons and off with his shirt, and it was quite unusual. Anyway, Elaine Whitelock says, "Hello, Richard. A bit late tonight." Oh, I beg your pardon. Don't be too late. You'll be like the person who's just fell into the you-know-what, and we've had to measure the headstone. It's all been going on this evening, don't you know? I need letters of excuse, please. You can buy them from the local post office. Anyway, let's go into what's the name, and see who's out there. Let's go right, skimming back to the beginning of time. 11 minutes into the show. Lovely Julia is out there making sure that everyone is mass behaving, which is good. Sean James Cameron first in with a nice tie, a very good tie. I like that tie. Is that the family tie? Yes, it's always nice to have the family tie. I always cut my family ties, and they never know where I am. Tall Podge Rog is next in, standing in line. Oh, very immaculately dressed, if I may say so, Tall Podge Rog. Very immaculate. It's very nice to see you in a blazer. That's very yes, in a nice blazer. Well, I think your jacket caught fire, to be honest with you. It is blazing. Daniel Watkins is in there, and he's saying hello to a number of people. Hello, Daniel. Good to see you there as well. Anna Jones, good evening, Vobsters, she says, using the English language, which is very handy, because if it was in another language, I may not completely understand it. Following that, we've got Dave Ivad, who's lift off with his clock, and he's all ready and got started. Mark Burgess is saying, how's your leg today, Daniel? And Daniel's saying, I'm hopping mad today. Hopping mad, which is a shame. Chris Navad, he says, chord progression from price tag. Good. Completely understand exactly what you mean. Chord on the tag of the... Yes, thanks. Audrey Forbes is here. Hello, Audrey. I bet you're sitting in your Ningle Nook. Ningle Nook? Is there such a thing? Ningle Nook? Ingle. With your ingots of gold in your Ingle Nook fireplace, making sure the bread is burning off, as only burnt bread with horrible yeast can do. Kerry Baldwin is also waiting for Station Master's choice, which is handy because he's just turned up. Tracy Murphy from Hampshire is there, waving the flag. Kerry Baldwin, I may have mentioned. If I didn't, I apologise, and I'll mention it again. Henry Agincourt, call out an arrow. Call him Harold. Graham Whittington, who says, hello, Vobsters. Hello, Graham. Always lovely to see you. Thank you for passing by. Simon says, we love nonsense. You won't get any nonsense on this show. Very serious show this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very serious show. Mainly because of the gaffer tape that has been wrapped around my mouth, preventing me from speaking. Ernie Samet says, evening, Richard. The Wiltshire videos were amazing. Love the new format. You both were brilliant. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you to say so. Flattery, of course, will get you absolutely everywhere, and I shall be visiting you next year in your wonderful schoolhouse, ready to have another 6 of the best. Good old lashings is what we want. Rhubarb and custard. Nice. Lashings of custard, please. Which would be great. Who else has turned up in the meantime? Michael White, Ron Langley, and Jeff and Mandy is also here, which is great. Alison O'Brien, good to see you, which is fantastic. And Paul Cockrell, Sheen. I don't know anybody called Sheen. Sean is what I meant to say. Buttonmer is here. Sensible Paul. I must turn my hearing aid up, says Si. Hello, can you hear me? Yes, I'm a bit like Jonathan Miller. Do you remember Jonathan Miller when he used to do those programs and he would gesticulate? He was the man whose hands were too loud for the deaf. Station Master's choice, I think I've already said. Sensible Paul, I may or may not have said, and I've said it again. Lord Geoffrey, of course, pulling on the old heartstrings of our tuft of hair that grows out of the old bonce. A monkey's buttocks, says Sean Buttermer, weighs £10. Finding this out also gets you banned from the local zoo. I'm sure it does. Oh, how heavy? Oh, it's not. What? Oh, here comes Johnny Morris. Would you get out of here, please? Would you get out of my zoo? Get out of my zoo. No, hello there. Oh, hello, the elephant. How are you? Yes, I'm all right, thank you. Oh, I used to love Johnny Morris. He was great, wasn't he? Snuffed it now, he has, unfortunately. Conehead, hello to you. And Dougie Warbucks, good evening to you. Nice to see you. And anybody else who happens to have come along. Vag Parnell, evening, Richard. Stay away from the cowpats. Oh, yes, I would do my utmost to try not to tread in any of those. I did go out filming today, not as entertaining or as amusing as the Wiltshire stuff, because my co-partner in that, the lovely Julia, unfortunately was not with me, and so it was just me trying to have banter with nobody. What do you think about this then, Invisible Man? I took the Invisible Man with me. Yeah. Oh, really, Invisible Man? Is that what you think about it? Oh, tell me more. It's just so fun. The faces he pulls. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some people can see right through your jokes, of course. It's almost ethereal, you could say, but not quite. Anyway, I never get a mention, says Ray of Hope. Well, you never write anything. If you don't write anything, how will I know you're there? You've got to write something, Ray of Hope. Ray of Hope has just entered into the studio. Not the studio. We have got, on a piece of paper, the words Ray of Hope. And he's got no regrets whatsoever in sending that to me. And Rachel T.S., you said, you miss me. You missed me. And I'm sorry, Rachel. I do apologise for missing you. She said earlier in the thingamajig, it would probably break the scales. Yes, that's right. If you put a headstone down on a fish, it'd probably break the scales. No, not on a fish. What are you talking about? Michael Foot. No, Michael. No, the bloke who predicted the hurricane. Yeah, on his head when he's trying to do his bread, it would probably break the scales. So, Simon says, what's tonight's theme? That's a good question. What would you like the theme to be? You choose the theme. Give me a call on 0793 4746 790. We have a song to play, so maybe this could make a very good theme. Let us listen to the song. This has been sent in by Ray of Hope, who, of course, we adore. The fingers and the wooden people, and him as well, playing, and the musical keyboard. It's absolutely brilliant. This might give us a theme. Let's see if it does. Somewhere here I have a button to press.
Some classic French music from the 50s and early 60s. Sparrow of Paris, EPF.
hee-haw, 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 hee-haw. I have, I say, no regrets. Je ne regrette rien. Whatever that means. I have none of them regrets. Why would I have any regrets for everything I ever have done? It's just magnifique. It is so beautiful. I walk with Grace. She's a nice girl, and sometimes I give her a smack on the lips, but I also see myself in the mirror, and I look at myself and I think, oh, what a wonderful world. Wait, we've gone into the wrong person now.
Regrets. I have a few. Too few to mention, actually. But I tell you what, I did do it my own way. I had my own way. I think that's what old Adolf once said, didn't he? I'll have it my way if you don't mind. Jawohl, mein Herr Capitan. Yes, so here's a good theme. What do you regret? I know Edith Piaf, whatever her name was, she didn't have any regrets. It was absolutely fantastic. A superb person. Everything she did was, wonderful. Couldn't do a thing wrong. Nothing. She had no regrets. Absolutely no regrets. The time that she was caught in the loo with her pants down and the window smacked open and she should have tested to see if it was... No regrets. No regret. But what? By the way, thank you very much, Ray. That was marvellous. No, I couldn't have done that myself. It was so good. You're so talented. So, regrets. What regrets do you have? Let's turn it on its head. Do you have any regrets? Are you one of those people who are going to be sitting there in the care home, not with dementia, but sitting there seething, going, if only I had done this, if only I had done that. What would you like to have done? What would be the thing that you have not done that you regret not doing? That's what I want to hear. 07934746790. Give us a call. We want to know. I want to know because I'm nosy, you see. What have you done? Or did you do something that you absolutely regret doing? I remember, I'll tell you a little secret here. When I was young, and I regret this, although it's part of growing up, of course, I regret that I thought it was going to be quite big of me to be able to wee on the garage door. I don't know why I thought this was a thing. I thought that I can wee on the garage door like this. There was an outside loo in the house. It was a bit of a cold place, full of spiders and what have you, but there was an outside loo. But instead, I weed on the garage door, and I got halfway through, and my mum opened the door. The front door went, "What are you doing?" I went, I got so caught short, I had to go, Mum. I got so caught short. Well, I regret, of course, being caught, but I regret doing it because I thought, well, it's so stupid, isn't it? No, stop mucking about. Yeah, it's stupid. Absolutely silly. Simon says, I don't regret turning into this show. No, it's not about what you don't regret. We're turning it on its head. It is what you do regret. Do you regret buying a car, a certain type of car? Do you regret going to a university instead of an apprenticeship? Do you regret having your children or not having children? Do you regret the murder of your grandmother with the candlestick in the ballroom? Do you regret that? What is it in life that you regret? Bert Whedon on a guitar, you regret that? Is that what you regret? Regrets, I've had a few, but then too few to mention, says Sean James Cameron, but I'd already sung that if you don't mind. Monster Vobes is back, says Mark Burgess. Monsieur, I beg your pardon, Monsieur, not Monster. I regret reading the things out rock. No one's playing the game. No one's actually playing the game. Here, Simon said, what is the theme? I'll give you a theme, and what happens? Nobody plays along with it. I don't know. Sexy French accent is back. Oh, Richard, I have, you say the sexy accent, you know, and maybe Rachel T.S., you and me can go to a restaurant and sit there and go, oh, garçon,
Garçon, bring me the menu. Not the men with you. No, I mean menu. You know, the sheet with all the wonderful burgers and chips and all of the stuff. This is a wimpy after all. I want baked beans on... I see, Rachel, you're not into baked beans and toast. Bye. Sell mal à la tête. Sell one of them as much as you can. Yes, I was not aware that the sexy French accent was actually in any way sexy. She's laughing her socks off, and I don't blame her. If I had socks on, I would certainly laugh them. Station Master Choice says that Charles Aznavour strikes again. Apparently, yes, it was in the papers only the other day. About time they arrested him. Sean James Cameron says, I regret phoning in so much now that my telephone bill has arrived. Yes, of course, I forgot to say that the telephone calls to the show are on an adult rate of £400 a second. What else have we got there? Reverb is still on. Okay, thank you. I'll turn that off. Regret not working harder at the secondary school. Got distracted by boys, says Judith. Oh, nice, eh? Nice. All those lovely boys with their little ties. Did they wear uniform? Was it the boys in uniform? Was that the thing that did it for you? The lovely boy. Oh, look at the boys there with their blazers and ties. You should have joined the Scouts. They have a little woggle. That will make you... Oh, I like your woggle. Nice. Yeah. I'd like to see you tie your woggle. Makes the mind boggle. Yeah, I'm sure it does make the mind boggle. What else have we got there? Any more? I regret dropping the high chair on my big toe just now. Yes, I bet you regret that. What else? I regret turning down a night of passion with Miss World, says Michael White. Really? You've got to tell us more about that. A night of passion with Miss World. Mind you, whenever I haven't seen one of those Miss Worlds, I don't even know if they still do them. To be honest with you, whenever I saw any of those beauty pageants, I never found the people they picked to be particularly beautiful. You know, there it is, beautiful, supposedly beautiful girl. I thought, well, actually, no, you're not actually the most beautiful. That one over there is a lot more beautiful. But, she's not coming back. Oh, that's a shame. Station Master's Choice is all coming now. Now, do yourself up, for goodness sake. Do yourself up. What do you mean, do yourself up? And you could get gallons in one of those, says, I'm not quite sure what it is. I regret rubbing ketchup into my eyes, but that's hindsight, says Simon. I'll tell you another thing that I regret. There was a kid at school. When I was at school, there was a kid who said, if you rub toothpaste on... Now, how do I put this? If you rub toothpaste, put a bit of smear toothpaste onto a certain part of your anatomy that happens to be hanging between your legs, but not the pendulum thing, the sack-like thing. If you put toothpaste on there, he said it's an interesting experience. So, of course, half a dozen of us kids went home and got the tube of toothpaste and fiddled. And I tell you what, don't do it. Don't do it. It makes everything shrink. Yeah. Ray of Hope says, am into girls, cannot. What? am into girls, cannot. Oh, nice. Thanks for that, Ray of Hope. I have no idea what that means. It only happened in my head, says Michael White. Oh, it only happened in your head. Well, that's different. And Sean James Cameron, he says, what are your thoughts on ABBA bringing out a new album? Apparently they're coming back together in hologram form. Hologram? Hologram. Is that a thing? That's like a record, isn't it? Like a gramophone, isn't it? Hologram. I don't know. Well, knowing you, knowing me, it'll probably be Fernando. Absolutely Fernando. It'll probably get everybody out there dancing like a queen, no doubt. Although I don't think it's Queen that's coming back, is it? Rachel Tier says, I regret going up into the loft just now and having a fright when the typhoon flew over the roof. It gave me a fright. It's the Bournemouth Air Show. I thought for a moment
that you'd taken up some Thai tea, and that you regret taking it up because, spiders and moths had fallen into it. Minty balls, says Chris Nevad. I say, minty. Who was that guy who did minty biscuits? Do you remember that? Do you remember that on the internet sensation of the guy who rang in? He was an actor, wasn't he? And he pretended to be somebody else, and he rang in the radio station. It's on Minty Biscuits. If you search on YouTube, Minty Biscuits, it's hilarious. Don't do it now, but it is, those spam phone calls. But he was an actor ringing in minty biscuits, and he's talking about these minty biscuits. It's hilarious. Anyway, I really miss the Shoreham Air Show, says the lovely Julia. Yeah, I miss it too. I miss not being bombed by the air show. 1940 was quite good, wasn't it? Went on a little bit longer. Good job I wasn't living in London, because they really went in for the special effects there, didn't they? That air show. But the ARP wardens loved it, yes. I love a good Viscount minty biscuit. I think that was what it was. It was a Viscount minty biscuit. Minty biscuit, such a lovely expression, isn't it? Minty biscuits. It was nice minty biscuits. Anyway, there we are. Shall we? Nobody's rung in on 07934746790. Watch a man squirm in a chair. That's what it is tonight. Watch a man squirm in a chair. Nobody calling in. Nobody. I mean, the only person who ever calls in on a regular basis is lovely Sean James Cameron or Colonel Craig Ratty. But nobody, no other sod rings in. Help a poor. Here's me working my nuts off, all covered in toothpaste, and ready to have a nice conversation with somebody who might call in about something. And no, it's not good enough. No, well, don't. I don't want anyone ringing in tonight. I don't want. I'm in a mood now. Oh, I'm in a mood. However, not too much in a mood to not put on a video, of course. Oh, it's too late now. Somebody's rung in right at the I have to get on my bended knees and beg. Let's find out who it is, though. Hello,
Sean from London.
Sean, could you not put on a different accent? Could you not ring every show and put on a different accent and just be somebody else and say, today I'm Clark Gable from New Zealand?
Well, hello.
Hello, Clarky. How's it going, boy?
I thought I would remind you that it is that it's 355 years ago tonight.
Yes.
That the Great Fire was burning of London town.
The Great Fire of London, the conflagration itself. Fire!
Fire! Everywhere, fire! 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 Fire!
There's no fire here in Pudding Lane, I tell you. No fire here. I'm just making some... Oh, my God, look at that. Bloody hell. The oven's on fire. What are we going to do? Mother? Have you got a bucket of water handy, Mother?
No, I don't have one, actually. My husband and I don't have water. We have some sort of bottled stuff, powdered. It is for our health, don't you know?
Is it really 100, 300, 700? What did you say it was? Quite
355 years. And I remember 5 years ago they did an event where somebody had made a model of London from matchsticks.
Yes.
And they put it onto a barge. And if you went to Blackfriars Bridge, they burnt it at exactly the time that the fire started.
Oh.
And we were there for about an hour and a half watching this thing burn.
Yes.
And it was fascinating to have a look on the buildings and see the flames, the shadows of the flames dancing across.
Ah.
But then at one section, when it was really having a good old burn, sparks started heading for the city of London, and the fire brigade had to be called.
Oh gosh!
To try and douse. So the fire brigade was on the bridge, dousing the embers before they got to the city.
But these days, buildings, I mean, they can't really catch fire on the outside, can they? They're all made of glass and chrome, aren't they?
I would imagine it's probably safe now, but I thought, what's something for the history books that is, on the commemoration of the fire. they burned the place down.
Burnt the place. Well, it would be funny if it had happened. Michael White says, I think the fire was started by Christopher Wren. Well, it could well have been, really, because he got a lot of contracts out of it at the end, didn't he? He probably said to his mates, here, boys, I'll tell you what, we haven't had any architectural work for a long time, me and the lads here, so just nip down Pudding Lane, would you, where that monument is?
Oh, what, the monument to the Great Fire?
Yeah, that's the one. If you just go down there, probably about 300 and something feet, which is almost the exact height of the monument, funny enough, if it fell over, and just light a little bit of a fire down there. We'll burn a few houses, and then we can make this thing. I've got this thing called what is it called? St. Brian's. That's not a very good name. All right, St. Jeremy. No, that's not a good name. Surely you can think of something better. Well, give me an idea. Well, I'm off to the swimming pool. Ah, St. Paul. Yes, St. Paul's. That's a good one. We'll have that up there, and it will be there. And do you know what? It will outlast the Blitz. It is amazing, isn't it?
That was the first place I went to when I came to old London town.
Was it St. Paul's?
Go and have a look at that.
And what was your... I've never been in there. Do you know? I love London. I love England, but I've never been to St. Paul's. Christopher Wren is a good chap. But what was it like?
Well, as you do when you do a bit of filming, you try and push the envelope. And you say things like, is there any chance we can go up on top of the roof?
Yeah.
Expecting them to say no. And they said, yeah, right, okay, come on.
So you went up onto the roof, did you?
So we went up to the roof and did some filming up there.
Yeah.
But it was just fascinating to walk through the bits that are closed to the public. And there were just bits of old stone just lying around in the attic. And but you just sort of think, wouldn't it have been interesting just before the fire if somebody had walked around the streets doing a bit of filming? See, that'd be like an historical record now.
Well, of course. I mean, I would love to. I mean, I'm surprised that there wasn't more etchings of London and all that from before 1666. And so
well, they say that it was the fire that put an end to the plague.
Yes, that's right. Because there was the Great Plague, and then the fire came along, and it's a bit weird, that, isn't it? It's almost odd that managed to put out because the plague must have been in lots of other places. I wonder if people were vaccinated against the plague. Anyway, they inject a rat into your nervous system and you'll be all right. But that's it.
I went into my compost bin today.
I can't help that.
And I regretted doing that.
I bet you did.
When I opened the top, a rat just stared at me.
Oh, have you got rats in your compost heap?
And the lid soon went down. It must have been at least 3 foot wide.
So, hang on, 3 foot wide. That's about that big, yeah.
So yes, I
what
put
the rat?
down.
Now hang on a minute. The rat wasn't 3 foot wide. I may be mishearing you there.
Somebody wanted to buy my compost bin, so I thought I'd go and clean the thing out.
Yeah. So it was empty, apart from the rat.
There was a rat in there.
Yes, I realised that.
So I put the lid on.
Yeah.
And I said, "You can have it." I had the money off her. I just let her go and sort it out herself.
There's the compost heap. That's a tenner. The rat is 15 quid.
Ta-da.
Ta-ra, mate. The rat is essential because it really helps to break down all the sort of plastics.
The compost.
Yeah. Chews the compost, turns it into extra compost.
And churns it all up when it's trying to get out.
Yeah, there you go. So absolutely perfect. I have been up I've been up the monument. You know the monument there that I was talking about. That is the exact distance from that spot to Pudding Lane where the fire allegedly started.
Yeah, apparently there is a golden boy on the side of a building, which I was reading about. It's a life-size of an 8-year-old covered in gold.
Do you think it's a real 8-year-old who was covered in gold and he's still there going?
And they put it where the fire ended.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. That's a little piece of a golden nugget that
So I thought I'd go and do a bit of filming for it.
Yes, you see, you're so well situated up there living in London to do just that. Phew, the views you will get from the little golden boy.
Well, I'm trying to make the most of the fact that I am here. Because
Yes.
when I leave, you just know.
We'll know that you've left. You'll know that's when everything, there'll be amazing things going on. You go, oh, if only I'd been there. If only I'd been there to do it.
Well, I was speaking to somebody the other day and just happened to ask what he was filming for. And he said, oh, I've just started a YouTube channel up.
And you went, oh, yeah, here we go. Not another bloody one.
But he said the first one that I've got has done quite well. And I asked him what was the name of it, and I can't remember what it's called now. But I went to go and have a look. And one of his videos has been seen by like 20 million people. And all it is just him walking up and down Oxford Street on the night they put the lights on. So I thought, right, well, that's what I'm going to be this October.
That's just copying somebody else. That's no good, is it? You can't just copy somebody, but you've got to do something original. But that's so infuriating. Isn't that infuriating? You work really hard, and then somebody just goes, yeah, well, just set it up, my YouTube channel, just walk around. I did filmed lights at Christmas, and it's done 20 million views. And you go, wait a minute, I've just about got 10 views on this, 100 views.
He walked from one end of the street to the other. So I thought I'd start on the opposite end, making it, therefore, a new video.
Well, I think you've got to. I just think that's not the way to do it. You've got to be original. Although it's never done me any favours, but when you
want
just
to get down to Worthing and film the Christmas lights.
Yes, that'll be people across the world will tune in to see the Vobes film some, because we used to at these events where they have the Christmas lights, they get some celebrity in inverted commas. Who is perhaps the local radio DJ to come down. Nobody's ever heard of, because nobody listens to radio anymore. And they get everyone to count it down, and everyone's wearing their masks, and the place is covered in plastic, and you can't see anything for the sort of COVID sprays everywhere. And then they push a plunger down, and this little tinkly light goes on. Ping, because it's obviously green, so they don't want to use any electricity in case it actually puts out too much carbon into the atmosphere, and that we all die from asphyxiation, too much sun, and all of that. And it's sort of it's always just naff.
Well, in my sort of district, somebody went around 2 years ago collecting some money for the Christmas lights, because everybody complained about them. She raised about £10,000.
That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do.
We never saw the lights, and we never saw her.
No, exactly. That's the thing. The audacity. Audacity? Is that the word? Audacity. The audacity of people, I think, is amazing. It's that apocryphal story of the bloke who was always there at the car park. I don't know whether this is true or it's an urban myth, but there was a car park, big old rough bit of land near Bath, I think it was, somewhere like that. Rough bit of land. There was this old boy who used to sit in the thing, and you'd go and park your car for £5, and you give him £5, and he was there, and for years he was there, and everyone would park their car and all the rest of it. Then one day he wasn't there, and people said, that's funny, we don't know where to put who do we pay? And someone rang up the council and said, when are you going to have the next person there? Because we don't know what to do, whether we're going to get paid or... And they said, well, I don't know what you're talking about. You've never had to pay there. It's not even our land. And it was just the fact that this bloke just sat up, just charged people, just turned up. And you think you could do that anywhere, couldn't you? If you've got the audacity, the front... Because people are...
I saw a YouTube video the other night... Oh, a bit of fish went out the wrong way then. I saw a YouTube video the other night talking about a woman who was in one of the Twin Towers when it fell. And she told her story to everybody and became so trusted. She became the head of the Twin Towers support group.
Right.
And when the dignitaries came, she was rolled out to come and shake hands and, show them the site and everything. Anyway, turned out, when the Twin Towers fell, she was in Spain. She'd made up the whole thing.
Yeah. Do you know? I think you just got to have the guts to do it, and if you play the game and be respectful and all that, you just don't win, do you? In this world, you've got to just.
But you just sort of think in this day and age with the internet, surely people would check things.
People don't check. I don't think the internet has made a blind bit. I don't think people check. I think people do everything. If you see, it's only they'll check if you're online. It's an email that's come in and it's just text. But if the person is in front of you, you make that snap decision whether you trust somebody or not. And if they're a confidence trickster, that's their skill, isn't it? To make you believe that what they say is true. Why would you disbelieve somebody? Why would they be lying to you? What have they got to gain? Except that obviously these people do in the end make millions of things and then they vanish.
Well, a slight change of topic. I was at the Royal Horticultural Society on Tuesday in the library section, and I was having a look at some documents from 1940.
As you do.
And doing a bit of research on kitchen gardens during the 1940s.
Right.
And I asked a question, and she said, that's the biggest problem we've got at the moment. I said, how are you recording things now that everything's on email and WhatsApp and Facebook? And she said it's the biggest nightmare that we've got.
There's too much of it.
There's just too much stuff being created, and they said they were concerned that in 50 years' time there might not be a lot of history to go back and have a look at.
Because what? Because these drives have been wiped, or that just they haven't been able to record it and there's nowhere to store it?
Just because they haven't worked out yet how to record stuff
for longevity.
For the future.
I mean, when you think how many people there were, say, a couple of hundred years ago who were writing letters compared to the population of today who are sending emails, it would be a very insignificant amount. And you could keep those letters and that body of work that people have done over the years. I'm always surprised when you get a book and it's like, the letters of so-and-so. And you think, well, they wrote the letter, they sent it off, the person received the letter and went, oh, to my beloved Josephine, I wonder if it's possible if I might ask you to blah, blah, blah. And you think, and then they've kept it. And years later, they've managed to get both those letters back and put them into some book. And you sometimes I just wonder whether people just make it up, because how would you know?
Well, people in their 20s now, I observed the other day, somebody was talking into his phone and he was sending a voice message to somebody else, waiting for a voice message back as a response. And I said, why didn't you just phone the person? And they said, oh, no, that's old hat now.
Yeah, no, actually talking to somebody, it's... I rang Julia the other day because I...
the message. Yeah. Rather than having a face-to-face conversation, but that wastes time.
Yeah, but I'd text Julia a couple of times, as we would make arrangements for filming and stuff, and then I rang her up the other day, and I said, hello, Julia. I said, we're live. We're talking to one another live. And we both laughed at that because that's something that, as you say, you ring somebody, it's like, oh, I'm not actually just leaving you a message so that you can pick it up at your leisure and then reply at your leisure. I actually just thought I would have a natter with you over the phone now, like doing a live show. And it was refreshing to actually speak to somebody, in the moment rather than, oh, hello, Julia. I wonder, are you thinking of doing such and such? And what? Okay, thank you. Wait.
I remember saying to a friend of mine about 2 weeks ago, I said, oh, do you want to meet up for a tea and a chat? I said, no, just send me a text.
Just send me a text. What about the tea? You didn't even get the tea. Never mind. Well, Sean, it's been lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for ringing up and saving me.
That's wasted another 20 minutes.
Yeah, they lap it up. They lap it up. And those that don't have left. They've only got
if only they had a video to watch of some random bloke walking through the streets of London.
Yeah, that's it. That's next on the thing. It's only 70 people tonight. It's hardly worth doing the show. It's hardly worth the effort. I might have to, during the winter, I might go into mothballs.
I guarantee if you put your feet up and put the kettle on, that'd get views.
Yeah, I know. What I'm thinking...
Just sit there and drink a cup of tea.
If I play my cards right, I could just, in a while, put on whatever date it is, last year's show on, and I wonder if anyone would ever notice.
No, because it'd be the same people phoning in talking about the same nonsense.
Yeah, they'll read their own comments back. They'll be going, hang on a minute, hang on. I can see my own comments from last year. I don't remember saying that. I never promised that. I never promised you a rose garden along with the sunshine. Anyway,
there you go.
Take care. Look after yourself.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. There we are. That's the lovely Sean James Cameron, all the way from. And next week he will be an Irishman from Dublin. He'll be doubling up, you see. Let's just, before we go to a video, as time is precious on this show, Graham Whittington says, I was there, Julia. That's very nice of you. Rare Hope says, the fire followed the Great Plague of 1665. This is an omen for something to follow the COVID pandemic. Or is this? He said, yes, of course. You've got to look into the depopulation of the planet. That's the next big thing, especially if you're a woman and you haven't had a baby. But let's not get into that. I don't want to get any conspiracy theories going, but if you are a woman and you're thinking of having babies and you might be injecting yourself with something, it's a bit worrying. Station Master's Choice says, we're all going to die. Yes, I'm sorry about that. Mark Burgess says, and thwarted a pteroleptil incursion. Good. The plague was spread by fleas on the rats. Yes, that's correct. And Rachel Tier says, most of the stone they used to rebuild London came from Swanage in Dorset, just down the road from where she is. So that's very nice. So Stone the Crows there then. And Nigel Sadler says that's next to Smithfield Meat Market, where you can meet all sorts of lumps of meat there. Black Bull's Illumination says Mark Burgess is switched on tonight. You should have been there, Sean. The Blackpool Illuminations walk down the famous mile. Miles and miles and miles of smiles. Smile a while, and while you smile, another smiles, and soon there's miles and miles of smiles, and life's worthwhile because you smiled. You can have that one. Audrey Forbes says, I always look for videos of the Christmas lights in London and watch several of them. Oh my God, some people do not have a life. Why on earth? Audrey Forbes Hamilton, you were high up in my estimate. Why on earth? It's like people watching fireworks on the telly on New Year's Eve. And they would go and watch, Big Ben striking 12, and now, Robin Day, here it is, it's time for the fireworks. Yes, let's have a look. Oh, yes, look, there's lights. But why would you? I mean, people used to watch that on cathode ray tubes, for goodness sake. Cathode ray tubes, 640 lines, whatever it was. You might as well just sort of turn detune onto UHF and you could see snow. Oh, look, there's snow, dear, on the telly. No, it's just interference. It's just there's no signal. It's very nice. It's better than that programme I was watching last night. You were watching Pot Black last night. Yes, well, I was a bit potted myself. I'm not surprised from what you drink. It's only for medicinal purposes, Richard. Only medicinal purposes. Michael White says that Boris is cancelled at Christmas, which would be useful. But not his, says Station Master's Choice. Audrey says, I like to see the shop windows as well. Oh, people who go window shopping. That's another thing that baffles me. They never come home with any of those windows, do they? You notice? They never go, yes, that's a nice window. I wonder where I could put that. Oh, it's plate glass as well. Very nice. I like it. And I can't quite get it in the car. It's quite heavy, that plate glass. They never come home with those windows that they've gone shopping for. It's bizarre. What Christmas? Cancelled again, says Mark Burgess. Sensible Paul says Richard will have to go to Blackpool as they're turning on the lights this weekend. Well, apparently they've already done it. So I've just read. And Julia says, Sean, could you do Carnaby Road Christmas lights? Carnaby Street, eh? And Lord Geoffrey Harrison says, that is true. He left and ran off with the money. Is that the car park attendant? Robert Brailsford says it was at Bristol Zoo. Was it really? So that was all right. Mossad blew up the Twin Towers, says Michael White, whoever Mossad is. And Rachel Tier says, I hope you're enjoying the trip, Linda. Are you? What trip is that? And Mark Burgess says they're not storing any data on the human DNA. Paul Cockrell says the trouble with recording things electronically is that, say, in 100 years' time, the equipment to read it will be obsolete itself. I'm actually wondering. We always, we're talking about electric cars and all of this being the future. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking, we haven't improved upon electricity, have we? I was thinking. We keep thinking, we've improved on all sorts of things. We've moved from candles, we've gone to digital, but we've not improved on electricity. And I wonder if that's possible to do. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Lord to you, sir.
Oh,
Lord.
beg your pardon, Lord Jeffrey. Isn't it funny how we've not improved on electricity?
No comment.
No comment. I mean, we've not made it smaller or bigger. We've not, blasted the world with a new power source. That's what we want to invent, is a new power source. I
think, the Indian government were going to send a new thing headed towards the sun to see if it would work. But someone asked them, said, won't it burn up? And I think the Indian government turned around and said, no, they're going to do it at night.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Geranium, is it buttercup power? Buttercup power would be good. Because you know how if you put buttercup under your chin, it lights your chin.
Yeah.
Now, no one's really harnessed the power of that. I mean, dousing everybody in a bit of yellow light might make everybody nicer. Don't you think?
It.
Yeah.
Love it.
It makes perfect sense to me. And we could have swathes of fields with buttercups and lovely cows gallivanting around them. Called.
I know. There was a family in Iceland. Oh no, not Iceland. It
What?
was
Just
some other
one?
country. No, they dug a big hole into the ground and took the heat and the energy out of that.
Out the hole.
Yes.
They take the whole of the energy out of it.
It was the heat. I think they went down 300 meters or something.
Yeah.
And it was the energy and the power they get from the earth.
Here's a little conundrum which only Lord Jeffrey could actually resolve for me. So if you've got a container like a plastic box, you can fill it with water, can't you?
Yeah.
And if you put the lid on, and you can come back in say an hour, open the lid, and the water's still there. But if you take that plastic box and fill it with light and put the lid on, and you say then go into a darkened room, where's the light gone? You put it in the box. Why isn't it still there?
Well, that's always buggered me. When you shut the fridge door, is it still on when you shut it?
Exactly. Has the bulb blown?
Yeah.
You open it and hang on, it's lit up again. No, that's all right.
Yeah.
And
I keep opening it up and it's still on, and then I shut it. I'm like, is that still on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's baffling, isn't it? There are things that baffle the world. Nigel Sadler says, kept in ideal conditions, your bonus print slaps? I never had a slap from bonus print. Your bonus print snaps from 30 years ago will last hundreds of years. All our digital images will likely be lost.
Yeah.
People have been digitising everything and then throwing away the originals. And I think... Haven't they?
Two things I've got to moan about tonight.
Good. Okay, we're ready for a moan. Get on with it.
Eric's behind you, behind the box with the microphone, waving. Can you see him?
Wait a minute. Hang on. Say again.
He's behind your right-hand side.
Right. Hang on. What do you call the right-hand side?
Your right.
Right. That's my right. Yeah.
Yeah. Behind the blue box with the microphone, waving.
I can't see the blue. Oh, over there. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yes, I see. Yes, waving. Is that Eric?
Oh, you see him now?
Yes, I see him. That is that squodge. That came from. That. No, I'll get it for you. Bear with me. I'll get it. I'm getting it. That is squodge from the wonderful classic children's television series from 1996 and 1997 called Snug and Cozy, starring two amazing blokes. And this was on their jackets, and that is the planet Squodge, and they're going toodaloo.
Oh my God!
And that's the way because they speak squidge, you see.
I have seen one.
That was enough, probably.
That was. I think I looked up the one when you went through the car wash.
Ah, that was, fantastic.
Yeah, on the bed.
That's it.
Yeah.
As you do, as you would. That's the best way to clean the sheets.
As you would. Yeah, brilliant. It's amazing they let you do that.
It did. I know. I had to persuade them very hard.
And the other thing was,
yes.
I was talking to my dad. You were talking about rats?
Rats, yes.
Rats? No, rats on the floor, rats.
Yes.
Well, we know my dad worked in the docks.
He did, yes.
And what they used to do is get the rat and put it in a barrel.
Like rats in a barrel, yeah?
Yeah, and they'll only put 10 in a barrel and leave them for about 4 or 5 weeks till there's 2 rats left. And then they let the rats go.
So the rats eat each other.
Yep.
And then they let them go.
They let 2 go in the barrel. When there's only about 2 left.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't eat the food no more. Dad said they should run off and eat rats.
Oh, I see. I'm with you. Je comprende pas. The brain has exploded. So you're saying they grab some rats, 10 rats, shove them in the barrel, leave them for a bit, and then there's only 2 left, but they've changed their diet.
Yeah.
And they go and eat rats.
That's why he said that they don't eat whatever was in the warehouses. They never ate no more.
Ah.
Completely changed their diets, and then they start eating rats then.
So they just become cannibals. And
really,
it's interesting how these things come about. Who would have thought, here's an idea. Let's see what happens if we leave them in the barrel and just put the lid on.
Yeah.
Because, if it had happened naturally, say you had a barrel and you opened it up and you went over to do something else and 10 rats just jumped in and you put the lid on without realising, so you didn't know there were any rats in there, and you just opened the door and go, oh, there's only 2 rats in here. I thought there were more. I thought I heard, there are a lot of squealing and stuff over the way, but there's only, but it's interesting how people discover this. I bet that is a very old thing.
Very old.
Yeah.
I think he was there I think he was 14 when his dad was a docker.
Gosh.
And he used to pick these rats up and just throw them in. And every like 300 yards, there'd be a barrel.
With these rats in it.
And then all of a sudden the barrels are turned upside down and there's no more left. Yeah, all very weird.
And so it just cleared, it just got rid of the rats from the docks.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because every time you go to the doctor, you never see a rat. So it works perfectly, does it not?
Love it. Love it.
Love it.
So I've had me moan.
Yeah, good, well done. Thanks very much.
All right. See you later, Richard.
Yeah, take care, Lord Jeff.
Bye then.
Bye.
Bye.
So we can't use up Lord Jeffrey's telephone for very long because obviously I will get the bill very soon. Michael White says, my wife's very squidgy. Sorry about that. Holographic Vobes, says Mark Burgess. I don't know why. Warp Plasma, too. You can tell amps from buttercups. Can you? You can tell amps. I don't know what it's... To trap the light, you have to trap the source, says Ray of Light. So there you go. You've got your box, you've got your light, and you've got some sauce. Now, he didn't say whether it was a nice peppercorn sauce or whether it was HP sauce. That could have been a nice sauce to have. Ratatouille is, that's what you also, I suppose, ratatouille is very good, what you end up with. It's a bit like retraining fleas not to jump out of a jar, says Mark Burgess. And Ray of Hope says, once a pic is digitised, it can never be lost or destroyed. It is only a sequence of numbers which can be recovered continually. Ask Mr. Spock. I suppose if you know that sequence of numbers, if you were very, very clever and had a memory that could go 101111011001100110011100111001111 next line 1000111000111011001110. And if you knew all, I assume I've done 14 hours of that, and you could remember that, and you had something that would interpret that into putting a pixel of light on a screen, I suppose it would be the same as nipping into your local chemist to have a film developed. If you could do that, you could just go in and say, I've got 36 films that I would like to see. I don't have an SD card or anything like that, but I can give you the number. Oh, nice. Yes, thank you very much. Give me the number of the first one, then. Certainly, it's 101110011. 3 days later. There. Bing. Oh yes, there we are. It's my wedding photo. No, that's the wrong wedding. It was the other wedding. Hang on a minute. I got sorry, that's the wrong number. It's 1100111 whatever. Ray of Hope has yes. Michael White says 100 exactly. There we go. Binary code is certainly boring. You can tell me it's boring. Let's have something a little bit more interesting. We were going to have a look at Sean James Cameron running around London. London? Let's see him going into Westminster. Not the bank, the London. Bank in London is a different place. Okay.
I'm standing opposite Westminster Abbey there. Many a royal wedding. And just behind it is the House of Commons, which we might just walk past now. I got a feeling there's a demonstration on, so we might bump into that as we go. People are passing me with placards for Extinction Rebellion. So let's just have a little wander around, isn't it? Oh, it's a bit difficult to walk on. All cobbles. Never seen a blue bus before, I don't know what that's about. So yes, this is Westminster Abbey there. And when there's a royal wedding on, across on the green here, they tend to put seats so people can sit down and have a little watch. Probably when you live in London and you've lived here for a while, all this seems second nature. So it was one of your comments that said, show us central London if I happen to go in there. Obviously, I think Parliament's on recess at the moment, so it's quiet because of that, and also because of the current situation. All over the place today, I'm noticing these hand sanitizers. That's a new feature of life in London. And that is Queen Elizabeth Tower there, which houses Big Ben, which is the name of the bell of the tower. But it's covered in scaffolding, and it has been for quite a few years. I thought it was due to be finished now, but obviously it's not. So we're coming up to Parliament Square here. This is where the protesters usually stand. Let's have a look at the back shot of Westminster Abbey there. So everything's pretty close. Westminster Abbey, Buckingham Palace, Houses of Parliament. Portcullis House is on the left there, just in front of the London Eye, and that is an extension of Parliament. There's actually a tunnel going underground leading from Portcullis House to the Houses of Parliament. So I did some filming in there years ago. I think there must have been a protest. There's a lot of police. They've probably gone home because they need to eat as well. London's felt fairly safe over the last few years. Occasionally we get bomb alerts, but I think those are probably going to increase now, given the world situation. It looks like the whole of Parliament is under scaffolding. I know there's a lot of work to be done to it. So this large building down here with the flag on top is where the Queen goes in when she has to go to Parliament. She has the monarch's entrance.
Well, it's a shame that ended there. I was thoroughly engrossed. I was just sitting there thinking, isn't it funny? A bloke, or it's just a point of view. Why bother to make anything interesting and edited and with music and all of that? Just walk down famous places and people will be mind-boggled. And you could probably walk down there, the same time, the same week, and it'd be just slightly different cloud formation, different traffic coming along. Why bother to do any more? And I've seen people who do this. I mean, I started doing some armchair walks a couple of years ago, and they, I wouldn't say they went down they in views because they didn't put very many up. But I've seen other people do it across the world, and they just seem, millions of views. And you think, gosh, we're all working too hard at this, sitting here talking, trying to make things up. 70 people watching. It's all a bit pointless, isn't it? And then you go out and you try and put something up, and only a few thousand watch, and you think, well, that's not going to make me any money. What am I doing this for? What is it all about? And I don't know. Anyway, so that was very nice, very interesting. Thanks very much, Sean. I have to get myself a pocket, one of these little pocket things, and walk about with it. That's the way to make a fortune these days. Although, of course, everybody's doing it, so there we go. Rachel TS says, look at the amazing architecture. And Rhea Hope says, a boring fact, London is a forest. It complies with the definition of a forest area as trees per square kilometre. London has many trees and parks, and thus is an urban forest. But does it have any heathland? That's the question. Does it have any heath? It's got parkland, but has it got any heath? Because I thought forest had to have heathland and scrub. It's got a lot of scrub, I suppose. Depends what you call scrub, isn't it? There is another 20 minutes to that video. It was very quiet. Well, that's all right. You burbling along, just going, oh, there's a nice building, and see that there. That's a building. That's all right. That's all we want. We just want to sit there and just nod off, really, don't we? Have a glass of something Alka-Calypso, and we're all right. Sean says there's 77 people watching. Is there really? 77? My barometer is not working very well. Audrey Forbes says, thanks, Sheen. Simon, you're doing for love, Richard. Is that what it is? Doing it for love? I haven't had any love for a while. Could I have some love, please? Can you get it in a tin? That would be nice. Lord Jeffrey says, we just love watching you. You saddo. I don't mean that. Of course I don't mean that. I appreciate that. But he's gone. Sean James Cameron says, I remember a video you made of you cycling around Worthing. We need new ones. Yes, but the thing is, anybody can do that. Anybody can just put and I bet there's billions of people cycling around. Where's the joy? I mean, that's the other side of it. Is yes, you could walk around a place, and I did a few of these, as I say, armchair walks, but I thought, this is as boring as hell. Holding a camera, walking at a steady pace, blah, blah. I thought, where's the engagement? I'm not engaging. You're not looking at the audience, you're not talking to the audience. It's, where is it? Michael White says, you've got 80 watching now. It must be, I tell you what, could a few people bung some likes on, and I'll see if the what's the name here actually changes. Look, this is what my screen says. There it is. Look, it's got a graph showing how the audience has picked up. But it says here 67. 4 people are talking, and only 70. And only 18 must be lying. Average watch time 3 minutes. Charming, that is, isn't it? That's charming. What's the point, eh? What is the point? It's very easy to get downcast in there. Instead of broadcast, downcast. In other words, it goes down to Australia, which would be a shame. 82 now. Loads of walking YouTube channels, says Graham Cass. This is the trouble. This is why I am actually thinking of not doing the walking stuff, because there's so many people doing it now. What's the point? I'm just thinking, what can I do that is different and unique and interesting that people will want to watch in their hundreds of thousands, so I could actually earn a living? My phone says 80 people are watching, says Lord Jeffrey. Don't lose heart, says Rachel T.S. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to lose that heart. We've been watching you from the start, says Mark Burgess. Or I've been watching, he says. You do a marvellous job, Richard, says Michael. I try. But as you say, every day there's another walking channel, somebody else out there going, hello, I'm walking along, and there's a tree, and there's a house there, and there's a phone that makes a noise. Paint your hallway ceiling again. Very funny, says Lord Jeffrey. Yes, thank you. If you think I'm going to get up on that plank a second time, you've got another thing coming. 15 thumbs up. So this has not moved on my screen at all. It's still the same. It says 70 concurrent viewers and 8. It says obviously something wrong with it. I'm guest at Station Master's Choice. I'm one of those walking channels. Yes, there you are, you see. Not only are you doing it, but you're watching, and next you'll be having a live chit-chat show on here with entertaining stuff. You'll be doing Norman Wisdom impressions. Here, Mr. Grimsdale! And you'll be doing Kenneth William. Oh, no, he's still mucking about. And you'll be Terry Thomas, absolute cad. And all of that. And then I'll be going, oh, my goodness, this is all very weird. Nigel Sandbury says that your stuff is watchable, Richards, whereas many of the others isn't. Oh, well, that's very kind of them. So that's different. Now, you can suck up to me. It would be lovely. Just suck it right up. Slip on another power cat. Yes, it's probably the best idea. I'm going to test. I shall do a new channel called Testing the Cowpats. And each week you'll find me in a different field with a different bunch of cows and a different cowpat. And we will skid test them. Whoa! We will land into them. Woo! We will have them thrown straight into the face. But we won't eat them. That would be too obvious. Audrey Forbes says, which is your most watched video? Which? Well, probably my most watched video is, I think, the one in which the Microsoft woman rang up, wasn't Microsoft, and they said, this is the Microsoft, you've got a bug in your system, and it was a scam video. There was a scam video, which I did years ago, and just on a whim, I picked up my recorder next to the phone, and I went, oh, I hope you haven't seen that I'm watching naughty videos, and I was mucking about with the woman, and that's that's the sad thing. The harder you work at this, the less views you get. Work that out. So then you think, oh, okay, I won't work very hard. And then, of course, you get even fewer. So what do? 83 watching, 60 likes now on. I saw that, says Station Masters. Kerry Baldwin, there's something wrong with my YouTube. My like button doesn't work, and I'm not appearing in the chat. We can see you, Kerry. We can see you. Station Masters, Sean James Cameron says, canals. Canal. Know what I mean? We're talking of canals. We better get some water going. Station Master's Choice has gone to Scott's Float number 2. Sorry, Bernie, didn't mean to leave you to the bitter end. Well, it's not quite the bitter end. This is the penultimate end. So let's catch up with Bernie. If you remember, he was down at Scott's Float 1. He's now at Scott's Float 2. Sorry, that's the name of the video, Scott's Float 2. He's back at Scott's, and it's nice and sunny, no more mist, and it's lovely. And we love his videos, and we don't mind that he's doing walking videos, because he does it differently. He does it uniquely. So here he is, Bernie at Scott's Float 2. Enjoy that? It was quick, that one, wasn't it? It was quick. He's decided to do these ones that are almost imperceptible that they've even started. We'll just extend it a bit. We'll watch it in slow motion now.
And out the other side, I don't know if we can see anything more clearly from here. This is all private, of course, nowadays. And there's a little slipway just up there. If you want to launch a boat into the Rother, it is navigable for 10 miles upstream, as we say, right the way up Newenden, and some small boats even further than that up to Bodgham. And well, we've been on that journey together along the Rother now, right the way from up in Etchingham. This is where it all ends as far as the main story concerned. It flows down into Rye, through Rye, and out where there's been a carefully sculpted exit to the sea. Yes, you can definitely see the mud banks over there. But look how much extra water is now flowing. And this is what's controlled the output of the River Rother for several hundred years now in one shape or form. I don't know if you can see that, but the gates are moving again. They're really coming right up now, look. And I thought they were fully up already, but it seems not. Ah, look at this. Now there you can see that gate is now fully open. And the river is flowing swiftly out to the sea and taking all its muck and dirt and leaves and everything with it. So not only have we visited the Scots Float sluice, we've actually seen it in action doing what it was designed to do. At low tide you can open it and you can let the water out, but in times of low rainfall those gates would remain shut and it will keep the level of the Rother at a certain height, way back all the way up, and keep it navigable for the pleasure boats and things, and just make sure that there's enough water to meet the needs of the farmers and what have you up there. But just before I leave, I'm going to pan down into the distance there, because there before us is the town of Rye, and right at the very top, not sure it's in, let's try and get it in focus, there it is, there is the church in the centre of Rye with its clock and its quarter boys. And on that note, I think this particular programme is now finished. And I'll see you next time, when I hope to be standing at the very spring that is one of the two sources of the River Tillingham.
That zoom is illegal. But what? You just... There was nothing. There was barely a smudge on the horizon. I'm going to zoom. Yes. We flew. We flew round that tower. It's not a zoom. It's a drone. I know it's a drone. You just... I mean, it's like Star Trek going into warp factor 5. Boom. It's like the TARDIS suddenly being beamed across the other side of the universe. It's incredible. That zoom, he says there's nothing special about the zoom. What, there is something special about the zoom. You can't buy zooms like that. You try, if I bought, I keep saying this, but you try, I go, I wonder if there's a zoom for my camera. And then you go, oh, it's £1,000 for a zoom lens for like 300mm. For, I don't know, something like 100mm to 300mm for my DSLR or a mirrorless camera, about £1,000. And it's like, you know, this long, or you get a 500mm or 600mm and they'll be like £2,000. and this and what? Excuse me. How much? But he's got it just goes. Woo. We want a video. I want to see the camera. I must know what that camera is. I want to see the camera. I want to see the length of your zoom, mate. You've got to do a video about it. Show us. I mean, that'd be difficult because you'd have to film it on a different camera. Clearly, he says it's part of my camera. £225 all in. But what? 200 what, all in with a zoom like that? I mean, that zoom bends light. It probably curves. I bet that's not even the fullest extent. I bet you could probably get into the tower, through the walls, the other side. You could probably see the Leaning Tower of Pisa on the other side of it. Everybody wants to know now. What camera is it, Bernie? What is it? Is it a I don't know. Is it a Sony A7S3? Is it? Oh, it's a Canon Legra, whatever that is. Nigel Sanders says, "Oh yes, there is, Bernie. The level of the zoom is extraordinary. What camera do you use?" So it's a Canon Legria. Is that how you pronounce it? Sean James Cameron says he needs to zoom into the moon. He's zooming into the moon. You see past the moon. You probably see Pluto and fill the screen with that zoom. Graham Whittington says that Nikon P1000 has a massive zoom built into the lens. Ye zoom onto the moon. We want to see some on a tripod. Stick it on a tripod. We want to see because obviously then you can hold it stiller, more still. And stiller, is that a word? Stiller? Ben Stiller? No, you can hold it still. It's either still or it's moving. There's no stiller. There's not. You can't be more still than still, can you? It's like being dead. You're either dead or you're not. It's either still or it's moving. Austin Allegro says it's an Austin Allegro. You could see the people in the space station. I know, it's amazing. You just sort of think, oh, this is normal. But if you spent a bit of money on another camera, you find, wait, the zoom is barely anything. It drives me up the wall. I see how far my zoom goes tomorrow. Zoom Wars. Yeah, see? Zoom Wars. I think that's true. It's very interesting that a low-budget camera, no disrespect, can have such an amazing zoom. All right, the detail may not be there, and that's what you're paying for in a bigger lens. I do know that. But it is amazing that you couldn't get a zoom. Anyway, he says, Stationman, I did zoom into the moon, and you saw it all. It's on my video of the Cookmere Valley Part 1. Oh, of course, yes, we all remember that one, and that's the classic one in which you got the zoom, and we saw the Martians coming, knowing that we've only got 4 years to live. But don't worry, we've got less than that because global warming's coming, and that'll get us before. They'll come down and they'll go, we are the Martians. There's not much here, it's just water and flooded. They were right. The Vobes was wrong. There is such a thing as global warming. Ho, ho, ho. Now we can smash the mashed potatoes. For mash get smashed. No, of course there's no such thing as global warming. What are we talking about? Stick It In Your Family album. Stick it in your family. Stick it in your family. Stick it in your family album. Half a sixpence. Anyway, put toothpaste on your zoom. Yes, that'll do it. The bird flew in front. Oh, yeah, so we remember. We remember it. It's as if it was only yesterday. And by golly, I wish it was yesterday, because you know what a lovely day it was yesterday. Yes. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of another exciting show. Hasn't it been wonderful? Oh, it's been sensational. A bit mad, a bit silly, a bit dozy. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the evening, the final Wiltshire video with the lovely Julia and myself fleeing Wiltshire. Can we escape? We go and visit Julia's brother and we go up onto a Neolithic hill. All the excitement of that. And I get my zoom and go about 4 inches. It's not very exciting then after all. Graham says, okay, everyone, take zoom shot videos and send them in. There we go. That would be. We want to see the comparison of the wide angle bit and then full extent of the zoom. But what we also need to know, we do need to know the numbers, don't we? We need to know if that's 20 mil at the beginning and then 60 mil or 80 mil to 250 or what, we need to know from where it starts to when it goes. And I'm not talking about measuring the distance. That's not where you go. Lord Jeffrey, once again, brilliant show. It's only brilliant because you were on it, Jeffrey. Only brilliant because of that. Neolithic says, David Vant, yes, we go and visit his hill. So he's a nice bloke. He led us up there. He opened the gate and he said, there you go and have a go and look on my hill. You might find some arrow flints, which is nice. Love the Wiltshire series, says Chris Nevad. Thank you, Chris. That's very kind of you. And Nigel Sadler says, do all the second home owners chase you out of... Yes, with pitchforks. They've come down for the weekend. They go... Here, what's this bloke talking about then, eh? We got second homes here so that we don't have the likes of you coming round with your dirty great camera and a big long zoom lens. You get off my land, you. Go on. And away we go. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much. Lovely to have entertained you. Hope you've been entertained at least at some point in the show. And back again on Monday. Have a groovy weekend, whatever you're doing. Saturday, 6 o'clock, the last episode of the Wiltshire trip. It's a shame it's come to an end because now you've just got a bit of solo Vobes for a bit. Although I am doing a walk with the lovely Mr. Suggett on Sunday for the Bald Explorer walking group, and we will put that up so that you can see where we're walking and what the terrain is like, and hopefully join us on, I think it's Sunday, the 26th of September. So that will be the next Bald Explorer walking group. So there we go. That's it. You look after yourselves. Thanks again. Take care, and good night.